NBA Players Association, the union, the league, finally meet face to face for the showdown of all throwdown. Shout out to Bobby Flay. If you know, you know. Head to head, talking CBA, negotiating a deal, and it went exactly as we expected.
The WNBA is dangerously close to burning itself down, and the scariest part is there's no extinguisher in sight. From emotional breakdowns to disappearing fans, the league feels like it's on the edge of implosion, one viral video away from disaster. Is this even a professional sports league anymore, or just a chaotic reality show in athletic shoes? Keep watching, because what we are about to reveal shows how the WNBA might unknowingly trigger its own downfall. This unraveling is wild, unpredictable, and surprisingly entertaining, so let's dive right in.
A lockout is looming for the WNBA, and I think it's about time that people start recognizing that that is probably the direction of what is going to happen with the WNBA, as yesterday's meetings didn't seem to go all that well. And that's directly from the mouth of players, and with what's going on in their comments, which they made yesterday or even today. I'm not sure when they made the comment.
These ladies believe they are superheroes saving the world, but in truth they are starring in a low-budget soap opera wearing sneakers and flashing sponsorship logos. Somewhere along the journey, the goal of being marketable turned into a mission to be unbearable, and the WNBA Players Association has completely leaned into this dramatic transformation.
The owners putting their foot down and saying, "Are you ladies out your damn mind?" The Players Association asking for abnormal things. "Oh, but we want 50% of revenue share. Oh, but we want this and we want that." Yeah, it didn't go over too well, folks. It didn't go over too well. And with every statement that we hear from the Players Association, from their representatives, from their executive director, and every non-statement we hear from the league, it just continues to kick this can down the road, heading toward a WNBA.
This is no longer about basketball. It's turned into a never-ending therapy circle where every move on the court comes with attitude, bitterness, and cryptic social media posts. These players somehow believe that accusing fans of racism will grow the sport. Forget performance or teamwork. Now the focus is on pushing away the very people whose support they need most, because nothing screams fan engagement like blaming the crowd while missing shots and going off on Instagram. That strategy will definitely fill the seats.
We have all been wondering, what are these players' demands in these CBA negotiations? What are they asking for? Are they asking for Rolls Royces? Are they asking for Jason Tatum contracts? We don't know what they're asking for. We wanted answers, and Gabby Williams gave them to us this morning. Oh man, she was cooking with hot grease. Gabby Williams was cooking with hot grease. She was clocking tea, is what they call it. Gabby Williams went in this morning about how bad the CBA negotiations went with the owners and how the players' words went in one ear and out the other.
Now let us talk about all this strike talk. Oh, how terrifying is strike. Imagine that players earning six figures for half a year of basketball threatening to stop playing, and here is the twist. No one outside the few hundred fans who show up would even realize it happened. You cannot hold something hostage when the hostage has no clue it has been taken. This is like demanding ransom for a sock puppet. Go on, take a break. Refuse to play. The league might actually attract more fans just from the peace and quiet.
God, do I hope there's a WNBA walkout. I do. I hope the women of the WNBA walk out like they're threatening. The WNBA's players union, they announced that the players will opt out of their current collective bargaining agreement with the league. That's right, they're opting out. They have that option. They announced just a day after the WNBA finals concluded that the New York Liberty, New York, which is good for the league, won. Big market. It won. Caitlin Clark, not a big market, but a big star. So they've won. But the league has lost, as we've talked about, $40 million. Even this.
Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is just trying to play real basketball while being pulled into the WNBA's emotional chaos. She is facing physical hits, cold attitudes, relentless media pressure. And now people expect her to comment on contract talks. Absolutely not. Caitlin, stay far from that table, because that room is not about policy. It is a reality show reunion with union representatives instead of wine. The vibe is poisonous. The motives are personal, and jealousy hangs in the air like smoke from fire fueled by egos. Imagine sitting beside players who treat praise like a personal threat, who think every jersey that is not theirs is a betrayal, who come to media day armed with resentment, suspicion, and a group chat ready to detonate over any compliment. Caitlyn should be relaxing, playing golf, not throwing away her peace for a league more interested in tearing down its future than lifting it up. And let's not act like everything is perfect in the union either. Their president cannot even maintain order in her own locker room. Sitcoms have fewer conflicts than what goes on behind those doors, with constant drama, silent wars, and egos clashing. It is shocking they managed to fit in a basketball game at all.
You see from all these different interviews is there's a certain lack of understanding of business. And while I will always champion for people to get as much money as they possibly can, and they should fight for every dollar that they possibly can, they need to have some level of leverage and information that proves their stance, proves that they earned this compensation that they are so very much.
When your leader is openly fighting with teammates, it might be time to question your entire movement, because this is not the image of unity. This is the image of people who cannot even handle a group chat without chaos. The level of delusion is truly remarkable. Players averaging 6 points a game genuinely think they are leading a revolution. They treat ignoring Caitlyn Clark as some kind of heroic stand. They believe targeting the most talked about player in the league will win them respect, but all it earns is internet jokes and public backlash. If their goal was to make people root against them, then mission accomplished. And while this unfolds, the league office is likely panicking behind closed doors, watching attendance drop like a crumbling Jenga tower. Sponsors are not investing for tantrums and Twitter rants. They want engagement and excitement. Instead, they are getting viral think pieces and bored fans who did not sign up for moral lectures with their basketball. The players association acts like they are untouchable, as if hashtags are equal to talent, and fans will stay loyal no matter what. It is like watching someone burn their own house down, then demand applause for doing it. And through all this, they keep targeting Caitlyn Clark as if she is not the very reason their television numbers are even surviving.
In the statement, the league kind of ignored that and just put in whatever it is that they wanted. Now, it is no doubt that the WNBA is growing, right? We have new teams that are being added to the league that are going to be up to 18 in the next few years. We've seen record-breaking views, so it shouldn't shock anybody that the players are asking just for a way to reap some of those benefits. And from the looks of it, because it doesn't look like negotiations are going very well, it does look like the league is trending more towards a lockout, which obviously would not be good for anybody, because right now this is at a stage of growth.
At this point, Caitlyn Clark could take a nap at halftime and still contribute more to the league than an entire lineup of grudge-driven veterans. The jealousy is obvious in every foul, every sarcastic comment, every moment a player insists they earn their spot while ignoring the empty seats around them. That is not Caitlyn Clark's fault. It is not the media's fault. It is not racism or misogyny or any other convenient excuse. The problem is the product. And when someone finally shows up who can ignite interest instead of nurturing that spark, they try to smother it with group resentment. Let them strike, let them stomp and shout, because honestly most of the world would not even notice unless they tuned in and found a rerun of an antique show, and even then the ratings might improve. This is not the NBA, this is not the NFL, this is a struggling league gasping for air while its own members drill holes in the oxygen tank. Caitlyn Clark should stay far from those ego-filled rooms where logic disappears and drama multiplies. Let the grown adults with playground attitudes battle it out while she stays focused on what actually matters, playing elite basketball and not acting as a caretaker for bruised egos.
The officials know what they're calling and what they're not. They know what to look for and what not. Caitlyn Clark is a really big deal. And I wonder if they're not calling fouls on her on purpose. Now, I'm not saying that's why she got hurt. I mean, I'm not saying that. But I wonder, just watching these games, are they not calling fouls where she gets hit on purpose because the backlash and what could happen, the optics of, Caitlyn Clark getting all these foul calls, getting superstar foul calls, what that would do to the WNBA conversation and attention to the game.
What makes this entire situation even more ridiculous is how players behave like they hold all the power when in reality they are bluffing with nothing but a napkin. The balance is shifted, and the only ones who do not see it are the same people posting about being ignored while wearing designer sneakers on the bench. The Caitlyn Clark effect is not an accident, it is the new reality, and if you cannot rise to that level, then step aside. Fans are finally watching, game seats are finally filling, and It is not because of contract demands or moody tweets, it is because there is finally a player who is thrilling to watch, who lifts a sport, who feels real. And what does the WNBA do? They push her into the chaos and hope she keeps quiet instead of supporting her, celebrating her, and promoting her like the asset she is. They let jealous veterans try to tear her down as if it is her fault that peak was a decade ago. It is sad, it is laughable, and it is exactly why the league might collapse under its own negativity. Let them strike, let them rant, let the Players Association president argue with her own shadow if she wants, because as long as Caitlin Clark stays away from the nonsense, there is still a chance for this league to survive.
First thing, you gotta pay attention to the breadcrumbs. Pay attention to the breadcrumbs. She said it's a problem having games, 3 to 4 games a week. 3 to 4 games a week, which is crazy to me. I like 3 games a week is not that. Y'all want more money and less games is what it sound like. It sound like y'all want more money and less games, bro.
So I don't think we're going to be able to play everyone 3 or 4 times.
But if Caitlin Clark gets dragged into the mess, if she becomes just another name in the crowd of infighting, then whatever momentum the league has will disappear quicker than a highlight reel in a turnover montage. So let them sulk, let them scheme, let them ruin the best thing that has happened to them in years, but they should not expect the world to wait while they sort themselves out, because there are other sports, other athletes, and other platforms that would gladly welcome Caitlin Clark and her talent. And now these same players think she should get close to league management and help solve their crisis. That is like asking a firefighter to reason with the one setting the blaze. She has barely made it through her rookie season without being shoved across the court, and now she is supposed to sit at the table with people who act like she is a problem when she is the only reason the league is still visible. Maybe Brianna Stewart believes a strike will somehow shift the spotlight to her passion project. What was it again? Right, the unrivaled league, because nothing says confidence in your current league like secretly building another one on the side. This is not innovation, this is creating an escape route while pretending to lead.
In the WNBA dump is ruined prematurely. This dump of a league, they just can't catch a break. This was supposed to be a celebratory day in the WNBA. Wednesday, July 9th. This was supposed to represent the immaculate return of the Great White Hope, the icon of icons, the star of stars. Mainly because in their 3 decades of existence, the WNBA has never seen a star. The only stars WNBA players get to see are the ones in the sky.
This is the basketball equivalent of texting your ex just in case your current relationship falls apart. The irony is almost poetic. While the WNBA preaches unity and progress, its top stars are secretly building a side league as if they already know the main act is about to collapse. And then there's unrivaled, or as some might call it, unwatchable. This feels less like innovation and more like basketball karaoke. It is predictable, basic, with a random flashy move here and there, and the unfortunate truth is, without Caitlin Clark, nobody is marking their calendars for it. Unrivaled has the energy of a movie spin-off. No one asked for, trying to make a background character the lead while ignoring why people cared in the first place. The format with fewer players and a smaller court seems like an attempt to distract from the real issue, which is a painfully thin talent pool, because a collection of missed layups and weak pull-ups is not going viral anytime soon, and 5-on-5 WNBA games are already barely keeping attention. The truth is, Caitlin Clark is the only reason fans are watching, and even then half the interest is just hoping she makes it through another hit without injury.
So it looks like new CBA negotiations are just not going well whatsoever. So according to reports, it seems like the league gave the WNBA players their new CBA offers and the players went and rejected it. Now, although we don't know the exact details as to what the league has offered, we know some of the reaction that the players have had. Like, for example, Brianna Stewart from the New York Liberty spoke out saying that it's extremely frustrating and basically they've ignored everything that they have asked for. Now, according to reports, the players are looking for improved conditions, increase in revenue sharing, and an increase in annual salary.
So it seems the new CBA talks are falling apart completely, and while the league tries to pretend everything is fine, the truth is it feels like a mashup of recycled drama, half-hearted rivalries, and average basketball. Take Caitlin Clark out of the picture, and what remains is a lineup of players who peaked half a decade ago, a few social media feuds and games that rarely break 100 points, and somehow their grand solution is fewer players on the court with more choreographed matchups. But that is not innovation, that is desperation. The belief that cutting the product in half will somehow erase all the attitude issues, fan disconnect, and terrible public relations is delusional, because if the players were truly captivating, fans would already be watching the full game. Shrinking it only highlights what is missing. And now, in the middle of this entire spectacle, Caitlin Clark is expected to choose sides, negotiate peace, and shake hands with owners who probably held their breath every time Cancel culture came for her over nonsense. It is absurd. She is a rookie. She is the only one actually generating revenue.
For what could be a make or break when it comes to the new CBA for the players, and some of the news that we have seen of late has not really been too favorable towards the players. It's been, a lot of people coming up with various quoting, like A'ja Wilson was, kind of stunned by, thinking what the owners think of them. Sasha Sabali's been vocal. Angel Reese has been vocal. And it's been a entire black cloud, I would say, hanging over this.
This could be the breaking point for the new CBA, and most of the recent headlines have not exactly favored the players, with reactions like A'ja Wilson being stunned at how the owners view them and voices like Sav and Reese loudly expressing frustration. There's a dark cloud hanging over this entire situation. Yet somehow the pressure falls on Caitlin Clark to play peacemaker while others quietly build backup leagues and sabotage their own brand under the disguise of unity. What these players fail to grasp is that fans do not show up for politics or cryptic tweets about respect. They show up for basketball. And right now, if Caitlin Clark is not on the court, the audience simply is not interested. Viewers barely tune in for regular games unless a name is involved, and that is the truth. No one wants to admit the whole league is being carried by one player while the rest act like they are doing her a favor. The entitlement is staggering. The hypocrisy is glaring, and the game plan is a desperation play with no clear leader. Caitlin Clark should stay away from negotiations and stay out of these off-brand side projects. Let the complainers spin their wheels while she focuses on what actually counts, delivering high-level basketball, because if she walks away, it is truly over.